Thanks for joining us and thanks for joining the conversation.
Yeah, man. Big up everybody on respect still for having me. You already know.
Yo, big up the dog slings, eh? Yo, that man here,
Hey.
practical man. You don't know, holding it down in the city. I love it, fam. I
Yeah, man.
love it. I
Hey.
love what you're doing in the community, fam. What you did for music. You're pushing the envelope. You're pushing the envelope. We had to bring you on. We had to bring you on, big man.
Yeah, man. Respect. Hey, bro.
So
Congrats.
I know you've been tuning in for the show.
Mhm.
Before Jada Man answers it, you have an answer that you want to give. So you heard the question. At what age do people settle down? We're talking about guys specifically right now. So you don't have to be specific to yourself. You can, if you don't want.
To be honest with you, I was Jada Man's kind of on the ballpark when it comes to like West Indian and the black culture. Like 28 to 35 is when mentally we kind of want to do it, but at the same time you could want to do it and don't find that right person, right? So
That's
they'll
true.
continue, right? But it's what you actually want, and I would say in a life partner, and what you would actually look for. Mm, Finding an equal, finding somebody that has your best interests always in mind. Um, a lot of factors. Not everyone goes through the same things at the same time. If you notice, it's a cultural thing. A lot of people. I don't want to just point out certain cultures, but Indian culture, a lot of them do arranged marriages and stuff like that from early 20s, right? And they stick it out, right?
Yeah.
Most of them, right? So it depends how you look at, to me, like with myself, I'm gonna put my age out there, but I'm up there in age, right? And I'm engaged now, but with myself, I kind of had to play the field, go through certain experiences in life just to
Yeah.
know actually what I want. Sometimes
Yeah.
I thought I knew what I want, right? Because
Good
I
point.
end up having
That's a good point
kids
too. Still.
and stuff like that with, a certain person, and that didn't work out, right? But who I'm with right now, I actually used to date in high school, and we were 360, and then came back around, and now we're building. So that's what it's about for us right now.
So
See, I told you. I knew.
you brought up some really great points that I just want to like retouch on, because you mentioned that range is the ideal range, but just because you might be ready, it doesn't mean you found that person to ride along with you. So that's actually a good point, because that itself could not to say delay it, but that could make you be riding it out longer. Whereas, I'm ready, but like, I need that. But then let me ask you a question: Do you need to have the woman, or like, are you, depending on, I mean, not to say do you? Well, I guess because we're talking about settle down, so it's settling down with your partner. But yeah, I know people that don't get married till they're like 50 and 60. So yeah, it's crazy. It does depend on when you find what you want.
And you know a big piece. Let me add some slings just before you drop there. You see where you're going with peace of mind. Peace of mind is a big thing, specifically for men, right? I'm sure for women as well, but for men, peace of mind. And as Sling said, sometimes you could feel you have it for a moment, or you're in it for a little bit, and then it starts to unravel. The tire starts to unravel. It's like, boy, I hit this. Maybe a child came out of it, maybe whatever, and we sort of do this dance, which is a little toxic, and we do kind of need to do a little better, and hold on a little longer before we get into these situations where we're producing kids and stuff like that, before a year drops, before a year and a half, without really knowing the person, really feeling it out. But peace of mind is another big thing. A level of peace of mind needs to be there for a man as well. Slings, your time.
Just to add on to what you're saying, some man actually find their partner, you know what I mean? But they're just not into the settling down thing, right? So you could be in that position and still don't want to settle down, right? So I guess it depends your character of who you actually are. Because
Yeah.
like the type of person I always was, like once I became even a parent, just to touch on what Ja was saying, I was actually like fully committed, fully in, right? But then life circumstances made things, switch, and then back to single life again and playing the field and et cetera, right? But I always was the type, like, if I find somebody, I always kind of want to stick with that person. So I'm always been a relationship type of dude. But at the end of the day, it's more than just being in a relationship, right? It's what I'm actually looking for, which is a lot of values. And
Yeah.
lucky for me, I end up finding that in one person. You know what I mean?
Wicked. And I want to say something just before when Wiggs, let's send it over to Brooke. But I want to say something, yeah, because I'm in a similar boat with Slings. Whereas I'm a relationship type of guy. But as he said, sometimes it doesn't pan out for whatever. And then you're playing the field, and if you get back in another one, people are gonna think people who see you, whenever they see you, if they see you with different people, they're gonna think you're jumping all over the place. But you're a relationship type of person, and life just worked out the way it worked out, and it dissolved, and then you kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? But Brooklyn, we want to hear from you, then swing it back.
So because all women, we always try to say to ourselves, what is it? A lot of women are in relationships for 7 years, 5 years, 10 years, and don't get a ring and things of that nature. What made you decide that you wanted to, put a ring on her finger and say, you know what, I want to marry you and be with you for the rest of your life? Like, what are some things that you looked for what basically made you say, okay, you know what, that's it? Because usually there's situations that happens, or whether you guys go through something and you guys, she's either a ride or die or she's not or whatever. Like, what made you say, okay, you know what, that's it? I'm going to the ring shop tomorrow, so go get that ring for her.
It's more than one thing still, but one thing I can say is that she's a godly person. She's deep in the church, and that's something that I always look for in a woman. Like I said, she has my best interests always at heart, even more than myself sometimes, how I look at myself. Like I said, I used to date her when I was younger, and as 25 years passed, we matured, we lived life a little bit, and we came back full circle, and we're best friends basically. You know what I mean? Somebody that's basically myself, but as a female. And
that's so dope.
And also put it this way: remember this. What's one man's trash is the next man's treasure. So always somebody's in the cut, always watching, wanting to get what you have. So you just make sure you secure it and then lock it down before, Yeah.
Yep. They say you don't know what you got till it's gone. So when you
so Wiggs, you need to pull Panda be a Jada man. You hear that? You better rub that head of yours. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, he dropping gems.
No, but it's facts. And just like what he said, kind of with me with my girl, with my wifey, when we met, like it was kind of like it was instantly, we were just on a good vibe. Like we're both chill, we're both progressive people, and like, you know what I mean? We were just both on the same vibe, and we just kind of realized, yeah man, everything I move good, and she helps me with my business, I help her with her business, and nobody's into the foolishness, and you know what I mean? So those are the type of things, man.
You know what? There's two things that stood out to me there. With what you're saying, Brooklyn, with some women waiting how many years? Because sometimes you could be with the right person, but it's the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? The wrong time. The person's not ready yet. So whether it's the man, whether it's the female, and then you could be with, it could be the right time. So wrong person, right time, wrong time, right person, right? So you could flip it is basically what I'm saying. So the next thing is, and then sometimes when it happens, just like what Slings is saying, right person, right time, and it just linked because the next thing is, remember, we're always evolving, We're always evolving. So what I wanted 5 years, what I wanted as a early 20-something year old, I don't want that. I don't want 80% of those things, 60 to 70% of those things, again, necessarily in a woman, right? Some little things that, you know, the hypeness and I'm not really on that anymore. I used to love the hypeness and all that. So you're always evolving. So that's why I said, if you catch me at the wrong time and you're on a, you know what I'm saying, and you're not at that level, it could just implode. You get what I'm saying? Right person, right time, you link. And I think it's God's time ultimately. Straight.
Now let me
sorry. No, sorry. I have a question. Do you you said you have your own children? Does she has her own children as well?
Who you asking, me or Marlon?
Who, my fiance?
Yeah. Sorry, Marlon.
No, she has no children. I have 3. You can see in the background in my picture.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, like, how, because I know when it comes to meshing families and things of that nature, that's a part of settling down, right? Because a man obviously has to think of that or a woman has to think about that. Like, how is it, like, were your children like accepting, like, because I know it's one thing when somebody accepts, when you say accept one, you have to accept all, right? So was it something that it was a no-brainer, like your kids, like she's excellent with your kids, it was like something like that? And do you guys plan on like having starting your own family in the near future? Sorry if I'm up in your business, but I'm just asking for future.
Well, first off, she's blessed. She's blessed. She loves youths. She loves children. So her connecting with my youths them wasn't even an issue. My youths them are big anyway, right? So my first son's like 19, second one's 17, and my third one is 14. So they're big youths still. And yeah, they liked her. They liked her off the bat, first of all. When I first actually reconnected with her, I was actually with them. So they seen her from jump, right? And just like I said, they come to my house like every other weekend anyway. So we all spend time together and stuff like that. So it's blessed. But yeah, we're planning to have, you know, a child or 2, hopefully.
Oh, that's so
in the
nice.
future.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to ask because I know
Yeah, I love
sometimes
you,
people say it's really hard. I know a lot of people say it's hard sometimes trying to, you know, getting the kids to accept the woman or getting the kids to accept the man. So I just wanted to see how that panned out. But thank you.
So Marlon, Sling brought up something.
Hold on, just to add on to that, Brooklyn. I even dated girls that have like multiple kids and stuff like that, and some of my brothers would be like, "Yo, how you gonna talk to this girl and she have all these bag of youths? You have to mind them youths there too, this, that, and the third." And I look at it this way: well, I have a bag of youths too. Like it's vice versa. If a girl's gonna date me, she have to accept my youths them too, right? So how could I not accept her and she have a bag of youths if I want to be with that, right? So I just wanted to put that in there, you know.
Facts. I like that. I like that answer.
Yo, hold on, Wiggs, before you transition, you know, you see the youth thing is a big thing, you know.
Oh my God.
Yo, no. Some people, like, you see, it's not settling down. Some people would just think it's the man running up and down and you know, and what have you. But you see, if there's no connection to the kids as well, it's gonna be hard for you guys to settle on any end. Whether it's the women not connected with your youth, or whether the woman has youth and you're not connected, it's gonna be hard to settle down because your youths come first. So
100%.
segue thing, you don't know.
So before we flip to the next part of the question, Sling brought up something earlier that I want to ask Brooklyn. Right?
Oh God.
So
What?
Sling brought up. Now I know when Jada Man initiated, he said he's talking for his answer. He's talking about African Caribbean men, right? But Sling brought up something in comparison to other cultures. He brought up something with arranged marriages, right? Now, Brooklyn. Now, I know this is not our culture, but imagine or what's your opinion on if when you reach 12, you know, it was set where, all right, your mom and dad came home and said, all right, Brooklyn, guess what? We found him. We found your husband. He's gonna be flying from Jamaica next week, and the ceremony is set for the next 2 weeks. And you know your dowry is gonna come in, and you guys are gonna get money from the family, and you guys are expected to go live your life and have kids. And Mary. Like, is that something you'd be like? How would you manage that, or what would be your thoughts or take on that?
First off, that's a hell no. We won't go because I'm not marrying nobody at the 8th. No, first off, no, I'm not doing that. I believe that things like that. I know they say sometimes, you will grow to love somebody or you will grow to like somebody and stuff like that. But I don't want nobody picking who they feel I should love at the end of the day, or who I should be with, or who I should have kids with. What if this person's abusive? What if he beats me every single day? What if he, you understand what I mean? He could verbally abuse me, mentally abuse. You don't know nothing about this man. I don't know nothing about this man either. And you're going to tell me I'm going to have to find out about this man when we get married. So all of his flaws, everything about him, I'm going to have to find out that later when we done have kids. No, I want to be able to find my own man that I want to, my own husband that I want to marry, and figure out stuff about him. He needs to figure out things about me, because no, I would run away. I'm sorry. That would be the one I would be out. Audi 5000. You tell me tonight, by the time you guys wake up in the morning, I am gone. I am gone. Take a couple panty, brassiere, 1-2 boot, 2 outfit, couple change, and I'm out. Bye. Nobody will ever see me ever again. Are you crazy? What if he's ugly?
No matter, man. Love is not about looks, man. You have to
listen. If he's dumb, if he has no sense up here, I'm gonna need something.
Yo,
so
Brooklyn.
If you're not street smart or book smart, you have to have something. I can't.
What kind of something?
Hold on. Yo, Brooklyn. Yo. All if the man come in with this much love, right? You have to take this love and just nurture it and just build it up and just build it up.
Hold on. So you're telling me if the man looks like he pisses on it, if I go now and it's time for me and him to go rub a dub in the tub, and I realize that after he pulls his pants down that he looks like he's been peeing on his balls his whole life, I'm supposed to accept that? Hell no.
Well, ugly people need love too, you know.
Hell no. And so do I. I don't want no tickle me Elmo, homie. No.
All right. Wake up. Flip it up.
Okay. All right. You know what? Done with that. So let's flip it up. Let's flip it up now. So we're done talk about the men. I think we should be back live on the IG. So let me just welcome everybody back on the IG. They stop it after an hour, but we're reloaded back. If you're looking up on the IG, feel free to check us out on the Twitch or on the YouTube, and you'll be able to get the full visual experience of the show. I am Ja Wiggs. We got Jada Man, we got Brooklyn, and we got special guest Sling Dads in the place. And we talking the things today. We talking the topics. We talking about when are people ready to settle down. We just talked about the men, and now we're going to talk about the women. So I want to know, number one, I think we should start with Jada Man again.
Yeah.
And we'll put Brooklyn right in the middle of the convo. So I think we should start with Jada Man again. Jada Man.
You know what? Because I don't No, we need to start with Brooklyn and then we work from there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, Brooklyn. And Brooklyn, whether you're talking about yourself, because we know say you're young and you're fresh. And you already say you're not married, right? So
no, I'm not.
We don't know if a man's holding you down already. If you have the promise ring, the engagement ring, we don't know any of that
not
as yet.
I'm about to beat his ass if he doesn't get me one. But yeah.
Okay. So perfect.
Hold on there. Okay, so I know there was some women commenting, so we need those comments to come back. Let us send the comments. When do women settle down?
So
what age do women settle down?
If you're watching in the comments, whether you're on Twitch, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or IG, women, we want to know when are women ready to settle down? Whether it's an age or whatever your definition of settle down is, you can post it in the comments. We will post the link up here again. And if you want to join the live, feel free to punch it in and we'll give you a couple minutes to visually talk your talks. Right? So Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us.
Like I said, when it comes to women, I can speak for myself and a couple of my friends. A lot of them, with women, we mature a little bit faster than men do. So from we're kids, we already know what we want to do. We already know about. We already planning our weddings, how many babies we want to have, what we want our man to look like, all that type of stuff. From we're kids, we have that vision in our head, right? So when you meet, obviously you have to go through a couple heartaches and all that type of stuff, but usually a woman knows, I would say, when you're around, say, 20, 21, in that age, because we mature faster. It's one of those things where you already have a lot of girls are already, like I said, we already have that, what we want in a man, what we see our future to be like, all that type of stuff. So there are women that look at it like, yo, at the end of the day, I'm going to party all the way up to about 30, probably 35, do my thing. You know what I mean? Pop out a couple kids here, but at the same time, I'm not ready to settle down. Then there's women like myself who say, you know what? I'm not ready to have children as of yet. I want to build my career. I want to do certain things before I can actually say I'm going to settle down. So me, I've been with mine for 5 years, and I'm a relationship guru. So I don't do the bounce from one guy to the next, to the next, to the next. I've always been the relationship type, and I've always put my all in it. And, sometimes, like you guys said, it doesn't work that way. I see something and he doesn't see it. When I'm always ready to, settle down when I feel like after 2 years, yo, bro, let's do this. But like what I said, I was mentally there and emotionally there. He wasn't. He was not there at all. So the one that I have now, he's actually there, ready to take that step. So yeah, like I said, it's your age, it's your maturity, I would say. I can't even say age, because age ain't nothing but a number. Like I said, people from high school, there's people from high school 16, 17, and they turned out to be together for about 15, 16, 20 years with kids and all that. So I can't say it's an age, it's your maturity, and it's how you feel and your mental.
So
I just want to shout out Toronto Top 6, who's watching on Instagram. Big up yourself. If you have an answer or a comment, feel free to punch it in the comments. Jalen or Sling, Jada Man or Sling, you guys wanna answer the question? You guys
Sling, do you wanna go?
Your take on when you find a woman is ready?
The man for Robbie Mai.
The way I look at it with women is like, I would say 25 to 30 is when they more want to settle down. I'm not a woman, but from friends that I see, like they still kind of want to party until they're like late 20s, and then they kind of want to find the right man at that time to kind of hold them down, So yeah, I would say them age framed.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So let me chime in on that. So what Brooklyn was saying about Wig, swing me in Sling. Yeah.
Yeah, man, don't worry, man.
Yeah, swing it round and up.
He wants his PT. You have to give him his PT, bro.
Play with this seesaw, take it up, swing it round. See? So it's funny. I listened to this sermon by TD Jakes a couple years ago, and he said that it's totally different. You see how Brooklyn said we've been ready? He basically says from birth, a woman is groomed, nurtured, and prepared to take care of her home, take care of the kids, marry a man, all the dolls, the Ken and Barbie, the marriage set, the Ray. We got cars. We're doing backflips outside. We're running up and down. We don't hear anything really unless we're seeing it in our household. We don't hear anything about no marriage until you're old enough to kind of, you're sitting down, your late teens, 20s, whatever it is, to really sit down and talk to somebody about it. But women, and the next piece he said was that women have had, by the time it's introduced to us, like on a level where we're meds in it, there's 20, 25 year gap. There's like a 20-year gap that a woman's, it's been in her mind, she's been sleeping with it subconsciously. So when she says, yo, we're ready, and I've always found that from I'm a teenager, any girl that I'm with, they're ready to like marry, like can get, or, you know, I'm not trying to say I'm this special person, but I'm just saying like they're ready for that commitment and ready to just be, for it to be you, in my experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I get.
Well, I kind of agree with both of you. And Jada, man, one of the points you brought up kind of ties into one of the comments we have from one of the viewers. So Ambitious Gem punched in. When Brooklyn was talking, she kind of agreed with Brooklyn and mentioned the age range of 20 to 25. And also tying along with what you mentioned about what TD Jake said about how a woman is kind of ready early. Ambitious also mentioned that's why a woman that's 25 can be with a 35-year-old man, because they're both ready for the commitment. And I found that was a very interesting comment, because it's true. I find it's true, and it makes sense. It makes sense in terms of, you know, just the readiness and the age, because just like Jada Man explained, and just like Ambitious mentioned, if the women are ready earlier and the men are not usually ready till about 28 to 35, that kind of ties in. And again, I agree with what you were saying about TD Jakes in terms of how the women are kind of brought up and groomed to that homey, nurturing, loving mentality from early. So that was a great point as well.
Yeah, we already know what we want. It's one of those things, and you know, when you find a man.
Yeah, I want to touch on this.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I can't hear you. Your audio? Hold on. Sling, I can't hear you.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
we
now.
can hear you now.
It's kind of laid back. You guys can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So basically, I was going to just touch on from my past experience with my baby mother, for example. So when I was younger, I would say like mid-20s, she wanted me to stop doing certain things like street stuff and hanging out on the streets and rape kids, etc. Right? But just because you're with somebody living in the same household as a family doesn't mean that it's a full-fledged future, right? So in regards to that, now she's looking at me like she doesn't see what she wants to see in me, right? Which is a big difference now. But back then, that's not what she saw, right? And even though we're in a relationship, it destroyed the relationship, which is kind of confusing because you're living in the same household, you're paying bills, you're doing stuff, but you know, there's certain things that weren't like made importance at that time, which should have been, now that I look back at it, right? But yeah, I just wanted to put that in there because really and truly, a lot of us are in relationships and it looks like, you know, roses and everything's all peachy keen. But if a person don't express themselves on the other end, letting you know what they're feeling and what they actually want in the relationship, then that's when everything turns sour, you know?
Weight banging.